Everyone, welcome to class. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late, but some of you are, as always, on time. No matter when you come, it's exactly correct. So we're going to start laying down on our backs on the roller here. Pull this back a little further. And be sure you're settled on your roller from your tailbone to your head. If you want, you can take a ball between your thighs to help you stabilize your body on top of the roller and find your central axis. Heels will be a little forward of the knees, arms outstretched in a T position here. Back of the head to the floor, and then just rock a little side to side. So moving to the right of the spine and to the left of the spine. Try to keep the back of your hands to the ground. So you feel that tug, that pull across the chest while you're getting the massage across the sacrum, between the blades, and at the base of the skull, the occipital ridge. So feel your weight shift from one side of the foot to the other and back again. And of course, we're looking for this big stretch across the chest, across your pecs. So then come center, and we bring the arms up in a hug and embrace, lifting the arms up, pulling the air in over your chest, and then as you exhale, open the mouth, breathe out, and the air goes out of your lungs to push the arms aside and back down to the ground. Use the full inhale to lift the arms and hug an invisible person, someone you love, right here above your chest, and then exhale, release them, and the arms slowly descend. There's a reluctance to go to the ground. You put on the brakes there to work the muscles eccentrically. And let's lift again. Inhale, arms rise. You're looking up and slightly back with your eyes. Keep the neck long, and then exhale. As the arms separate and reach to the ground, feel the blades hug the roller beneath your body. That's opening your chest and strengthening the muscles between your blades. Inhale to lift the arms here. Nice and steady with your body on the roller. Even though it wants to roll, it wants to slide. And then you bring your arms down. We lift the arms one more time. And once they're up, straighten the arms, lift the fingers to the ceiling. Use your exhale to let the blades drop down, widening across the chest. Inhale, the arms rise up in unison and parallel to the ceiling. Stretch across the back of the shoulders, and exhale, let the blades slowly descend. They hug the roller underneath you. And inhale, arms rise again. The shoulders lift here and shoulder protraction, and then exhale, the collarbones widen as the blades drop down to the ground. The chest broadens here. Inhale to lift, and exhale to release. You can do this a couple of different ways. As you say, most of my clients prefer to go up and then slowly descend, like the back of the body is melting around the roller. But some people prefer to go up and sort of like slap the shoulder blades down, so you get this reverberation and vibration in the body. So it's sort of, you can try it either way that you like. And just one more, whichever way you choose. When the blades are down, sinking, melting towards the ground, turn the palms forward as you exhale. And we can inhale to bring the arms long and down at your side. Just widen the chest here, collarbones broad. Now inhale, lift the arms up to the ceiling to 90 degrees, and exhale, bring the arms back towards your ears, holding the rib cage grounded here on the roller. That means you may or may not be able to touch your fingers to the floor behind you. The arms lift and then exhale and come all the way forward and down. And the reason we do that is that if you bring the arms up and just go ahead and take the arms back, maybe you can do that without arching the back additionally, but maybe you can't. And if the back arches additionally, then you're losing the stretch in your lats, the back of your body. And you're also not encouraging yourself to be engaged in the abdominal wall. So if you bring the arms up and then exhale, take the back, holding the rib cage in that neutral position with just a small stretch at the waistline, a small lift at the waist, then you will feel the stretch in the back as well as the stretch in the chest. And then you bring the arms forward and all the way down. So do that again. If you need the extension, take it, but The Pilates method would be to hold the rib cage sort of grounded without letting the ribs pop as the arms go back. And let's bring the arms all the way forward and down to end that part of the series. And now bring your hands to your shoulders, elbows pull in by your waist. We circle the elbows up, wide, out, around, and down. And repeat. It's an inhale to lift the elbows up and exhale to circle around, down, and back in towards your waistline. Moving the arm on the shoulder joint, but also moving the shoulder blades underneath you on the roller. So allow yourself to shrug the shoulders up and then sink them down low. Do one more like this. Breathe through it. Short inhale, longer exhale. And now reverse. The elbows go back and wide. Bring them up, forward, and in. All the way down your side and repeat circles. Trying to have the arms move like mirror images of each other. So that if one side is more restricted, maybe due to like an old movement pattern or even a previous old injury, restrict the more free moving arm to the size of the other arm's movement until you can balance them out. But hopefully only do this if it feels good for your body. Breathe through it as you go. We're going to complete the circle and extend the arms long at your side. Reach the fingers for the far end of the room. And as you inhale, lift the arms up and back by your ears and one big sweep. And then exhale, circle the arms wide. If you're drawing snow angels in the snow, bring the hands parallel to the roller. Rotate the arms, palms are down. We lift the arms up and back as you inhale. And exhale, reach out, show me your wingspan here. Palms are spread open as the fingers stretch wide. And then rotate the arms, palms down to lift again, up and back in unison, in parallel, and circle around, forward and down. Do one more like this. Yawn your body open to the ceiling as you stretch. And then exhale, circle out around to get more space in the room. And here we'll reverse it. So the palms are up and you circle back. When the arms go parallel sort of to your shoulders, start lifting them up. And then exhale, press the arms forward and down. Because if the arms go back too low, it's going to feel uncomfortable in the shoulder unless you've got, well, if it's too low, it's wrong for the rotation here in the arm. But if you can take it low, that just means you have more range of motion here in the shoulder, more stretch available to you through the muscles in the chest. So we'll do it again. You just don't want to feel restricted as the arms go behind you. Work at a level that makes you feel like you're getting a good stretch that's healthy for your body. You press it back, you exhale, and you push the arms forward and down. Good. From here, we'll do the diamond arms. So you bring your thumbs together, your index fingers together. The diamond shape refers to the shape of the arms in space with the elbows wide. And then you keep that diamond shape as you bring the arms back to frame your face. And then exhale, bring the arms forward to float the hands over the belly. So you're going up and back, with gentle pressure from one hand into the other to firm up the inside line of your arms. And then take it back. And exhale and forward here. Good. Just one more like this. The collarbones literally are rolling inside your chest around their own axis while you do this. And then from here, arms at your side, and we'll slide on off of the roller and take it aside. So here coming up to sitting, we're going to move into our hundreds. So sitting upright, perch up on your sits bones, elbows wide, we're going to roll back into our upper curls. So you look down as you curve the tail up, pull your waist back, roll back past the sits bones, over the sacrum, over the hips, to the waist, to the ribs, to the tip of the scapula, fold the knees in, extend the arms parallel to the ground, extend the legs up, and find your working level. We're going to pump the arms here at your side. You stay high with the head, looking down your nose towards the abdominal wall. Breathing in completely and watching the chest and the belly expand. Breathing out completely and watching the whole body knit back in towards center. It's a steady pulse here, easy through the neck as you lift up and stretch the back of the neck. The work should be happening right under the chest wall and in the low abs. So the upper body helps you pull the upper body forward, right? The upper abs work to keep the chest in this upper ab curl. The lower abdominals work to support the pelvis, prevent it from arching against the weight of the legs moving forward. So keep breathing, full breath in, long breath out. You should be warming up the body. You press the legs together to get a little bit more work through the inner thighs and into the lower abdominals. Let's go for one more breath here. And then fold the knees in, lay your head back. And you can turn your head easy from one side to the other to release your neck. The legs will slide forward here for our roll-ups. If you choose, you can use a TheraBand around your feet. You can even use ankle weights here. We'll lift the arms up to the ceiling, take them back to your working level, which means there's no additional arch in the low spine. Bring the arms up, weight in the scapula, lift the head, neck, and chest. Exhale, pull your body up and go forward. It reaches out between the thumbs. The shoulder blades sink behind your back here. And you round forward to feel the stretch in that back line. Coming back, lift the tail through the legs. You reach forward through your heels. The arms can either go higher for more work or lower for more control. Expect to see lower each vertebra one by one to the floor, and you should expect that as well. So lift the arms here, weight in the shoulder blades, head, neck, chest, rise, exhale. Before you pick up the ribs, you want that exhale to support you in the hardest part of the movement. Pull the head out long, trying to lengthen the neck as you pull it out between your fingertips. Suck the waist back to get that stretch in the low back. And that'll also help you find that rounded curve in the low back as you approach the ground. Sink inch by inch, one vertebra at a time to the floor surface, and then yawn your body open to the ceiling without an additional arch to the spine. Lifting arms here, coming up, exhale again. Come up slowly, try to pull the waist back as your head pulls you forward. You reach out as far as you can. If your hamstrings are tight, you would bend the knees, but you would still feel that stretch in the hamstrings and the low back. One more time to the ground. You're actually going to come back and use the TheraBand. So pull yourself to the floor here. And then when the shoulders are down, the arms lift, the head is down, you can circle the arms around, and let's pull the right knee into your chest. First, for a little bit of a stretch, pull the knee in as close as possible to your rib cage. If your knee is an issue, you would hold the back of the thigh, the hamstring, so the knee would be more open here. Otherwise, really compress the leg in and have the calf almost like really resting on the thigh. With both hands to the knee, we're going to circle that leg here, small circles in the air to stir the femur, the leg bone on the hip socket. You can use one hand or two, actually. And then reverse the circle, keeping the pelvis grounded and heavy, because the exercise we're going into, like many of them, require us to keep part of the body stable. In this case, it'll be the torso and the pelvic girdle included in that while the leg moves. So now let's take the TheraBand, we'll place it around the ball of the foot and the arch of the foot. And then lift the foot up to the ceiling to get a stretch into the back of the leg. Elbows are grounded and closer to your hips, so your shoulders move away from your ears. And you lift the leg up as high as you can. Try to make it more vertical. If your hamstrings are tight, it's fine to have the knee bent, but you're going to reach up to the center of the sole of the foot. Inhale, point the foot, exhale, flex it a couple of times here, articulating through the foot. And then we'll end with a soft point, reaching up to the ball of the foot, toes are soft. And we circle, inhale, the leg moves across the body on the inhale, and then exhale goes low, rotate externally out to the side and up to the sky. So one breath per circle, a short inhale for a quarter of the distance, and a long, slow exhale for the last 3/4. That's going to help you feel a deeper engagement in your lower abdominal muscle, the transversus abdominis. So you reach over here, reach out long and low, spiral the leg into external rotation, pull it to the top. And now the right side of the body is heavy before the leg goes left, and then the left side of the body presses and sinks into the floor before the leg goes to the right. At the top, you're ready to breathe in, you take a deep breath in, and then you push forward with the foot into the strap. Allow the strap to give you support for the leg, but also a little feeling of lift and stretch. So reach, let's do one more. Go low, out, around, draw a bigger circle each time while keeping the pelvis grounded. And here we go. The left side is grounded. We take the right leg out to the right and press forward into space. Drag it across while the right side presses into the floor. So you are going to actually use your core muscles to keep the body stable while you work the leg, stretching it all around 360 degrees as you move your foot in a circle through space. That rotation of the leg is important. It gives you the best possible fit of the bony surface of the femur into the hip socket. And of course, we want that movement to be as smooth as possible. With every breath, the inhale could get a little shorter and the exhale could get a little longer to help you really feel more deep abdominal work. Now let's pause at the top here. Take both ends of the band in your right hand, open the leg out to the right without tipping the pelvis off the mat on the left side. Helpful to sometimes take your left hand onto the hip bone crest and push it down, or even think of like rotating to the left as the leg reaches out to the right. So you feel more work in your left obliques. Rock the leg a little bit towards your shoulder and away. It's a gentle bounce, nothing major, nothing dramatic. And then exhale, lift the leg up to the ceiling. Switch hands at the top. We cross the left leg over, we extend the right arm, and look at that. As the leg crosses over, lift the hip, the waist, the lower ribs, but keep the shoulder blade down. Pull that leg towards your shoulder. Again, if your hamstrings are tight, the back line is tight, you might need to have the knee bent. Otherwise, try to straighten it. And rotate the leg internally for the bigger stretch across the glute into the low back. We're coming back down, pulling yourself down from the left shoulder to the waistline to the right hip. That lifts the foot way up to the ceiling. And give that leg another stretch. Pull the band in towards your chest. And then we can fold the knee into your body. The band comes off into the side. Embrace the leg in. And then release it forward. Maybe shake out both legs. And then notice as you release both legs into the ground that the right leg that we just worked is more externally rotated naturally. Usually you can feel that in the hip bone crest if you take your hands to those little bony points here on the pelvic girdle. And the leg is definitely longer and flatter to the ground. So next we pull the left leg in, come straight into the chest, you pull the knee in, embrace it first, and then release it a little bit to start your circles, hand on the knee, just stir the leg on the hip socket. You're moving the thigh bone, that movement of the lower leg and the foot is completely just carried by the movement of the upper leg. Reverse the circles here. Welling up the joint and also massaging into that part of your low back. And then hug the knee in one more time. And we can reach for the band. You want the band to be wide across the ball of the foot and the top of the arch. Toes are free. And then lift the leg up to the ceiling. Get a little stretch there. Check up on the band if you need to, or pay it out if that's necessary. Elbows slide forward so your shoulders are away from your ears. Point flex the foot a few times. Working heel ball toe and back through that articulation. All right, and then with the soft plank, we circle the leg across the body, inhale over, exhale down, out to the side, around, and up to the sky. Hips are heavy on the ground. In fact, I think everything that's touching the floor should be super glued to it or bolted into the floor like so. So you pull back with the left hip as the leg moves to the right, you pull back with the right hip as the leg stretches to the left. At the biggest circle you can to get the flexibility into the muscles of the leg, the space into the joints, but not at the expense of losing your core stability here. So every movement is a challenge to hold the pelvis grounded, to hold the body stable on your mat surface. Do one more. Long exhale to pull the leg up to the ceiling, and let's reverse out to the side. Even the upper arm on the opposite side of the body from the leg movement presses into the ground. And you push the leg further and further out into the band, allowing the band to support some of its weight at least. Pivoting here from your elbows, trying to keep your wrists straight as you move. Let's go for one last one. All of our hips need this desperately, right? And move the leg goes up to the ceiling, take the stretch, left hand holds the band, and now you bring the left leg out to the side, while the right side of the body presses into the ground, like the right side of the body is falling into a ditch, into quicksand, and dropping towards the center of the earth. And then you rock the left leg a little bit towards your shoulder and away. Holding the work into the right side of your torso. Let's pull the leg up to the ceiling, lift it here, switch hands. And now the left leg moves to the right, spiraling the hip, the waist, the rib cage off the ground, pulling the leg closer to the right shoulder. And you can rotate the leg internally. So think of spiraling the femur, the thigh bone, so that the knee and the toes point down. Increasing the stretch here. Exhale, come down from the right shoulder to the waist to the left glute. Lift the leg, give it an extra little pull, a little extra tug there. And then fold the knee into your chest. We'll hook it in, bend to the side. And then release the leg forward. Shake out your legs. Double check your back should feel relaxed. You're more connected to the ground. The legs are both long and also relaxed, but also energized. All right, so here, pull your right knee into your chest, hold on to the shin, lift the left leg to the ceiling. We rock forward and up, head lifts, neck, shoulders, rock forward to sitting, or rolling like a ball. You sit near the front third of your mat, and your hands can go to your shins. Elbows wide and forward, suck the waist back, we're in a pelvic tuck and an upright curl. Look at your navel continuously. Inhale, we lift the tail and roll to the blades. But in the air, exhale, coming right back up, you balance on the sacrum. You try to hold the shape, look down, breathe into your back. On the inhale, you go back. On the exhale, you come forward. You inhale to start the movement as you curl the tail up. As soon as you hit the shoulder blade, you can start your exhale. So you're already exhaling before you change direction. That's going to bring you all the way up. Inhale, roll. Exhale, coming up. And of course, you want to be sure you have enough padding under your back so this is smooth and easy. Do a couple more. Use the right and left side of the body equally to roll right down the center of your mat and then right back up in that same straight line. And one more time. Hit a next foot off the ground. It's one of the reasons we look down into our core. So now we're moving into the ab series. So right hand is above the right ankle, left hand below the right knee. Pull that leg into your chest, elbows wide, and you push the left leg away. Try to work down slowly. Push the shin up into your arms. So you curve your back down, one into one vertebra after the other. Feel that nice pressure into your back, the low back. And now the elbows are wide here. You look down your midline. Inhale and switch the legs. Left hand to the ankle, right hand to the knee. And switch. Right hand, right ankle. And switch again, left hand, left ankle. As you pull the leg in tight, you're still pushing up with the shin into your hands. So you feel that work in your arms and into your upper abdominals. Leg shoots straight out of the socket, and then you pull it straight into your chest. We'll do one more set here. Maintain the upright curl, looking down your nose. Don't look up at your feet or up at the ceiling. Pull the knees in, double leg stretch. The legs are zipped together. Arms and legs lift to the sky. Arms are apart, legs are glued together. Exhale, circle the arms, embrace everything in. So you reach up and away without losing the upper arm curl. If you take the arms too far back, you'll flatten your spine. You don't want that. But also, if you don't take the arms far back enough, you're not going to get the work you're looking for in those upper abs. You have to find the sweet spot with every breath, with every repetition. Come all the way in. Lay your head down. And let's lower the feet. And separate the feet with the bent knees here to the outside edges of your mat. Arms extend out in a T. We're going to take both knees over to the right and turn your head to the left. And then sweep the legs up, taking both legs over to the left and turn your head to the right. Do one more set of these. Rocking across the sacrum and releasing the neck with this gentle rotation to the cervical spine. Come back to center. Narrow the feet back in. And pull the knees into your chest. You can hold on to your shins or to your thighs. Come to your upper curl, elbows wide and forward. Extend the legs up. We're reaching hold of the right calf or ankle as high up on the leg as you can. Left leg forward. Scissors. Inhale, switch the legs. And exhale, switch again. The body is stable. You reach up as high as you can towards the foot and try to lift your head up so that you're not falling back with every time that you connect your hands to your legs. You get a little reinforcement to the upper curl. The legs draw a beautiful arc in line with the hip socket as you work here. Let's end with the left leg up, bring the right leg to meet it. Both hands behind the head, pull the skull up and the elbows down and in. With the legs zipper tight, you're going to press them slowly forward in an arc across the ceiling, maybe slightly down the wall, and then exhale, pull the legs up, take your time to lift them. Notice we're not just throwing them forward and then throwing them back up, right? So we're trying to resist gravity on the way down and resist momentum on the way up, while keeping your back safe, of course. Because your two muscles, your psoas muscles that do this action, the psoas muscles, they connect to every single vertebra in that low back and every single intervertebral disc. So it would be foolish to take the legs out of your appropriate range of motion here. Be sure that your core can support the range of motion you're choosing to work in. Reaching it out long, squeeze the legs together, exhale, pull them up, and now we twist to the right leg, armpit to inner thigh, and then twist to the left. Coming up high with the head and trying to pull the chest forward on a diagonal towards the inner thigh. The pelvis stays grounded here, especially on the opposite side from your twist. Use your hands to support the head. We'll also lift it a little bit and pull it forward where you want it. We're going for one more set, ending to the left. Come back to center, lay your head down, stretch the legs forward. I know, we all feel that, right? And then lift the arms up and back. Even take your hands to the ground even if you arch your back a little bit, just enjoy that feeling of stretch in the abdominal wall. All right, we're coming up. So lift the arms, press your ribs into the ground. We're coming up, forward spine stretch. Pull yourself forward. Open the legs as you rise, sit up on your sits bones, arms parallel to the ground. If your hamstrings are tight and your back is rounded or it's flat, you either need to bend the knees or sit up on a yoga block. So from here, let me press down with the arms, widen the chest, lift it, look at the horizon, look down your nose, chin to chest, move the back of the head forward to move the neck forward, then the upper back with the shoulders, then the ribs, down the rib cage, pull the waist back over your legs. And then you press down through your legs as you stack the spine up, zip your back up an imaginary wall and pull your waist move away from the wall, the shoulders move towards that imaginary wall. Should be an arch in your mid-back. Look down and dive over. All the way forward, curve forward, suck the belly up like you're diving over a beach ball, and then pull it into your navel as you pull back with your waist. And think of that ball rolling up the front of your body to lift and stretch the abdominals as the back works to pick you up. And one more, look down first, neck, then upper back, then mid-back, then low back. Hold onto your legs or your feet and pull your waist back, tailbone go forward. Head hangs down here. And then we're bringing the heels in. You can sit near the front third of your mat for open leg balance and then rocker. Hands through the legs, hands wrap around on the top of the shins above the ankles. Curl your toe up and find your balance point for your sacrum. Inhale, the right leg extends up. Stretch the leg here. Exhale, pull the heels down, connect them. And now the left leg extends. Good. Shoulders are easy and relaxed. Right leg up. And exhale, fold. Left leg reaches here. They might roll a little to the outside of the leg, the outside of the calf. And both legs. They both go up. It's a narrow V, not any wider than your shoulders, your chest, and then fold it in. Arms come to the inside of the legs as you have that narrow frog. Inhale to lift up here. And exhale and return. Spine is curved here, shoulders easy, perfect. And then lift and hold. So you might take your hands a little bit closer to your knees. Look into your belly, curl the tail up. The lift of the tail rolls you to your shoulder blades. Head off the ground. Exhale forward to come up to your balance point. And inhale here, lugging back. And exhale, pulling forward. Try to breathe into your back and then roll. You can inflate it like a tire and then roll on it. Good. Chin to chest, eyes on the navel as you roll, even when you come up. All right, so close the legs, bend your knees, feet to the ground. And we roll back. You can bring the arms forward, lift the tail, articulate the spine into the mat. Heels are ground, chins can come up, that's all right. Come all the way down, and we can grab your fair bend or corkscrew. So you pull both knees into your chest, and then you bend both feet. The legs are zipped together, like a unileg. And then you'll push the feet up to the ceiling. Again, if your hamstrings are tight, allow the knees to bend. Then keep your tail down and try to have the legs as vertical as possible. So from here, self point with your feet. And we bring the legs over to the right, small circle the size of a volleyball or basketball, around, forward, over to the left, drag them up to the sky at the end of the breath. Inhale now to the left and exhale around. We're working to hold the pelvis still for one more. So think left side is heavy as the legs go right, right hip gets heavy as the legs go to the left. Come back to center. So here, let's do tick-tock. So what you're going to do here is, well, what we're all going to do, we'll pick up that left hip bone to bring the legs over to the right. See how far you can go without losing that left arm into the ground. Exhale, and you pick the right hip up to pull the legs back to center. Keep lifting the right hip bone to bring your feet over to the left. You can turn your head and look away, and the opposite shoulder blade pushes into the floor. Now let's pick up your left hip bone. Use those low obliques to pull the left hip crust up and across the body, taking the legs to the right and the gaze to the left. Tilt the pelvis with control. So notice you're not just throwing the feet across the ceiling, right? You're working from your pelvic girdle, you're working from your oblique abdominals to get that work from into the center of your body. And exhale, now the left hip is lifting to bring the legs back to center. And then one more time, the left hip still lifts to bring the legs to the right. How far can you go? You're going to feel a lot of press into the arms. Exhale, pull the right hip up. So you're pulling the hip bone crest across the navel into the other side of the room. Look away from your feet. That right shoulder is heavy as the legs move to the left. Exhale, now pull the left hip up to roll across your sacrum. Very nice. And then pull the knees on into your chest. And take the band off. Okay, from here we're rolling up to sitting. Come up into your saw. If your back line is tight, I highly recommend sitting on an elevated surface, like a book, a yoga block, even a roller if that's what you have. You'll get more benefit from the exercise, more rotation, more curve. So arms out to the side, legs are apart, the width of your mat or maybe slightly wider. And you lift the chest, and rotate to the right and dive. The back of the left hand to the outside of the leg, slide that arm forward and the other arm back. Reach long with the fingertips in opposite directions. Lift to come up, and then unwind the body. Sit bones are equally pressing into the floor here. And as you dive over to your left, press more weight into the right glute. And try to pull your left shoulder towards the right one. And then you lift to come upright. Center here. So as you rotate, the right thumb is going down, the palm is going up. And then you get the arm to move diagonally across the back wall by finding the rotation through your spine and your rib cage here. Lift to come up. Center, spin. It is confusing with the arms, right? So you want to lower the thumb down on the back hand and then the palm to the sky. And then pull the chest open, looking back behind you. See if you can see your back fingertips without flexing at the wrist. And lift to come up. It can be a goal. It doesn't have to be an actual event, right? So we're looking for reaching and trying to get more rotation. Lift to come up, center here. Also, if your back line is tight, when you go over, you may want to bend your knees. And the front hand is actually pressing into the leg or into the foot to give you a little more rotation that helps pull you around. Lift to come upwards, center, lower the arms, pull your legs together, and we're onto our stomachs next for swan. Starting with the head floating off the ground, the hands back by your chest, elbows up like swan wings. First, we pull the head and the heart forward. We scoop the gaze across the floor, up the wall, the shoulder blades down your back, pulling together behind you. And then imagine a ball rolling up your spine from your sacrum to your waist, to your ribs, to your shoulders, to the neck, to bring you down. And we do that again. Pull back with the arms forward, up with the chest. Lift here. And down you go. The back lengthens, the belly knits together, brings you closer to the ground. Head floats off the ground still at the bottom. When we're like that, you're engaging your triceps and your lats. Push the floor down and away to lift up. And then release it down again. And then once we're down, push up into a child's pose. Round your back, curve it. Head drops low. Tail curls under to stretch out your spine. And then we're moving forward into single leg kick. Popping yourself up on your forearms. Either fists or palms to the ground. Whichever kind of works for you. So you pull the elbows back, you pull the chest forward. You want to feel the abdominal wall lengthening, stretch it. Right heel kicks in 1, 2, and down at the left. Pulse 1, 2, and down at the right. With every double beat here, you'll feel that stretch in your quad. You're trying to keep the pelvis grounded and heavy here. You have the whole pelvic girdle filled with like wet sand and sinking into the surface of the mat underneath you. That way the body won't be rocking. It'll also allow you to stretch out your quads, stretch out your psoas muscle here. Do not collapse. You're still thinking you're pushing back and down with the arms to keep pulling the chest forward and up. Eyes to the sky. So you get a feeling of lift in the front of your chest. Do one more set. Hopefully getting a little more stretch in the quad with every one of those. And then we'll lay down, turn your head to the right. Overlap your hands on your back. Elbows follow. And take a deep breath in to lengthen the whole spine. Exhale. You kick 3 times with both legs. 1 and 2 and 3. Press the shins into the floor. The arms reach back. And you lift the chest up. You're in your cobra, you're in your swan. And down to look to the left. 3 pulses here. Pumping 1, pumping 2, pumping 3 times. When the feet are down, if you have the flexibility in the chest, you bring the thumbs together. As long as the wrists are straight, the fingers are straight. And down you go, looking right. Repeats again. Arms go back. If the thumbs won't intertwine, just reach the hands either palms up or palms in and stretch as far as you can back towards your feet. Then come to the ground looking left. 3 pulses again. 1, 2, 3. Chest and heart go forward as you lift the gaze, lift the chest. And then we can come down, another child's pose. Push off the ground. Curve the spine here. Set the spine from the bottom to the top. Okay, we're moving into shoulder bridge today. So we're going to lay onto your backs here. If knees are an issue for you, you can take a ball between your thighs. Roll your spine into the ground. And press the arms along at the side of your body. Your feet push into the floor and pull the floor back towards your hips. Begin with the pelvic tuck. You curve the tail forward and up. You push the knees forward out over the toes. First, you come into a plank. And then you're going to add to that. Press down to the top of the shoulders, roll to the outer arm, and lift the heart, lift the thoracic spine here. And then boost the butt up a little higher to go into a bit of hip extension. And now we roll to the inner arm. Feel how the shoulder blades separate away from the spine so you can lower the ribs down between them. Curve your back, drape it into the ground, 1 inch, 1 vertebra at a time. Go all the way down, roll through the inverse curve of your spine, pressing it into the ground. And then you rock over the sacrum and down to the tail. And then we start that again. Pelvic tuck. You slide the heels back, the knees forward as you pull the tail forward and up. Come up, the chest widens. As you lift, when you roll to the outer arm, you'll feel the blades pull together and pick up the chest a little higher. Push the floor down with your arms and your feet to go higher with the glutes up into the sky. And now we roll to the inner arm here. The shoulder blades broaden underneath you. Take that back down. Be sure you're bending it every inch, 1 inch after the next. Release down. sort of snake your way to the ground and then find the S-curve spine when you're laying here. One more time to come up, we're going to stay up and do some marching. So we rock the pelvis, we bring the hips forward, up and out. Pull to the outer arm, push the top of the shoulders down, lift the hips. Now pull the right knee in, and exhale, lower the foot down. And then we're going to press with the right leg, pick the left knee up, knee folds, exhale, lower that down. So the angle of the knee, you're keeping that knee bent. You pull the leg in, and then lower it down. The feet should go back exactly into the same spot where you pick them up from. And our work here is like really through the back line to keep the pelvis lifted and level, even when you remove the support of one leg and then the other. There is that moment when both feet are grounded, when you might want to think of pushing both hips up to the ceiling if you had dropped it all, which, you know, quite honestly, most of us do, even a little bit. Remember that when you pick up the leg, that side of the body is still cantilevered off the other side. You have muscles across the body that can help you with that. Doing one more here for the left. Feet are down, push the hips up, roll to the inner arm, work the upper back down, curve your back into the mat, sink it down slowly, come all the way down, and then we're rocking forward and up to sitting for spine twist. Up, legs extend out in front of you, feet flexed, if that works for you. Little arch in the back, and arms come forward, slightly in front of your collarbones. Push the arms down, lift the chest, and rotate to the right, impulse 1, 2, 3. Lift to center, and then to the left, twist and reach around, 2, 3. Then you can always bend your knees a little bit more if you feel tight in the back line of your body here. And then to the left. Arms like knives, cutting the air. And you wring out your waist, you wring out your breath with this pulsing action. One more set. And now to the left. Back to center to lower the arms down. And we're onto our backs. We're jackknife. So this is a shoulder stand. If you want a little assist on this, you can take your roller across under your hips. Otherwise, you lay down onto your back. Good idea. If you're holding onto the roller, if you're using the roller, hold on to it. And then you can fold your knees into your chest, extend the legs up to the ceiling, and slightly forward. Do not turn your head when you're lifting the hips off the floor, right? It's really bad for the neck if you do that. So we press the legs forward and away, squeeze them together. Inhale, you lift the legs. Exhale, lift the hips in the air. Think of starting going low with the legs. Hips high. Then you might lift the legs up, lower them down, and then work the spine down into the ground. Really press to the palms, press to the arms to engage your lats. As the abs bring you down a little bit at a time, the legs go forward and lift again. It's an inhale and exhale to come up. Inhale, exhale to lift the hips. Push the hips up into the sky. You try to have a long waist here. And then you can lower the feet, lift them, and work the spine down. Your gaze is up and back, so your throat stays long. You'll be able to breathe, and even like I'm doing, talk while you're doing this eventually. Reach out long, and let's lift again. Inhale, exhale, push to come up, and then down we go slowly. The shoulders will need to curl up a little bit as you come down, because you're doing flexion in your spine, right? So on the way up, you know, it's okay to really just think of the back broadening. Do that again, kind of see what happens to the shoulder blades. So you push down, you lift, and the ribs are falling back between the blades. Now, on the way down, we're rolling out. There's a natural curve up of the top of the shoulders, so you can press the arms into the ground. Don't think of trying to keep the shoulders pressed into the floor during that, particularly when, go ahead and bend your knees, rest. Particularly when you're still getting more open through the chest, because if you do that, as soon as you push the shoulders back, your back arches, then it's going to be really hard to control the movement down to the ground. You feel that? Like if you're laying on your back, just pull the shoulder blades back, and you feel the chest and the ribs pop forward, right? So if you're coming out of that elevated position onto the ground, you're actually flexing the spine to go down and lengthening it to the floor. the opposite of like doing extension. You want to really have the shoulders a little bit forward and the sternum dropping back. Okay, anyway, so I know we're sort of picking apart jackknife a piece at a time in each of the classes. Here now. So onto your side for some side kicks. So you can stretch on out, prop yourself up on your arm. Legs are long and slightly forward, maybe 30 degrees from the angle of your spine here. Stick your tail out behind you a little bit so you have more hip flexion. And we pull that bottom arm in towards your armpit to engage the armpit and the lower rib cage line. You can press your hand in front of your chest, press into the ground to feel that connection into your serratus and your external obliques. Pick your top leg up hip height, both feet flexed, just hip height. And then the heel moves forward, you reach it out and you pulse 1 and 2. Point the foot, take the leg back, and pulse 1 and 2. Important to keep the body stable here, right? So as the leg goes forward, work your core, don't lean back. And then as the leg reaches back, open the hip and don't lean forward, pulse 1 and 2. The longer you are here, the more you're gonna feel the stability through your core. Reach back, press the bottom leg into the ground also. Come back to center, lower the leg, we rotate externally, point the foot to lift it up, flex the foot to close the heels down. Point to rise, flex and down. Point lift, flex, close. Now reverse, keep the flex foot, go up in dorsiflexion, point the foot, go down in plantar flexion. Flex, drag leg up in the air, point, stretch it down long, squeeze the air out from between the legs. Imagine that leg working into a TheraBand. It stretches the band and it resists the closing of the band. Now développé, you bend the knees up towards the ceiling, slide the foot in towards your tail, pull the knee to your shoulder, extend the leg up, flex the foot and reach out and long. So you point, glide the foot along the bottom leg, the knee to the shoulder, extend the leg, flex the foot, press out, heel kisses heel. Go long, long, long to feel the stretch in your waist. One more. In, knee in, leg lifts, flex, out and down. We tap reverse. Go up with the leg, high kick, point the foot, bend the knee, toe to the thighs, skate it down the bottom leg, flex the foot at the end of the movement, and it rises. Point to bend, and exhale. Both legs should get longer. There's really like a gentle pressure of that foot into the bottom leg. Lift once more, point bend. Pull the head away from the leg as the leg moves forward. And now for rond de jambe, you lift the leg hip height, and we draw a big circle in the air. It goes forward, rotates externally up, rotates internally back, comes back through center and neutral. The body is perfectly still here. Press into your arms, support yourself with the pressure of your bottom leg into the ground. You also think you're longer, so pull the head away from your waist, pull the leg away from your hip, complete the circle, and we reverse. Take it back, use your glute, open the hip, rotate externally to lift it, forward and around. Good, and then again, reach. Sometimes closing your eyes makes you feel more, like it helps you feel that kinesthetic feedback, but it also may make you less aware of where you are in space. So, you know, do a few with your eyes closed, but then also try to open and see where you are in space. It's interesting to feel it though, right? When you can block out the other sensations. Okay, so here, onto your stomach for grasshopper. Overlap the hands under your forehead. Let's do one leg at a time first, so externally rotate the legs. And we're gonna press the front of the pelvis into the ground, pick up the right leg from the glute, and exhale, bring it down. Now the left leg, hip bone crest into the ground. We're gonna keep it in the glute and not take it into the lower back. Right leg up and lower. Now the left leg lifts and reaches up and out, and then bring it down. Really press the pelvis into the floor while you do that to get more work into the glute muscle. Lift and then lower. Now here, legs and turn out, lift both legs and open and close clapping. Legs apart and together. Thighs off the ground. Legs as straight as you can make them. One more breath. And then lengthen on the inhale, lower on the exhale, and sit back in your child's pose next. Round your back, stretch your spine, let your head fall. And we stack the spine bottom to top, coming up to do the other side. Feels good, right? And then the other side is like, hey, me too. All right, so lift the tail and the sit bones up and out behind you. Find that pull of the bottom elbow towards your waist, top leg up, both feet flexed. Inhale, swing the leg forward, pulse, reach 1, 2, point the foot, then swing it back and pulse 1 and 2 again. Double beat forward here, point, stretch it away, double pulse back. Working hard to keep the body stable while you do this. You're balanced on your side seam. Know that the body's going to want to rock in the opposite direction from the leg. Don't let that happen. Come back to center, lower the leg down, rotate externally. Point the foot to lift the leg high, flex the foot to bring the straight leg down. Point to lift, drag the legs apart, flex and squeeze the air out from between the legs. Squeeze them tight. Point rise, flex and down. Reverse, flex to go up. Point to stretch and lengthen away. Flex and lift. Point and down. One more, flex up. Point all the way down. Now, développé. You bend the knee, you slide the top foot along the bottom leg, knee to the shoulder, foot to the ceiling, flex and reach out through your heel. Close heel to heel, kiss them together, point, slide. Knee to shoulder, lift the foot, flex and press it out, leg suspended as it draws an arc to the ground. One more point, pull, lift the knee, extend the leg, flex and press. Now we tap and reverse, go up with the flexed foot, point the foot, bend the knee into the shoulder, touch the toe to the thigh, slide the foot all the way down, lengthen, 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 heel to heel, and then bring it up, point and bend. Exhale forward, try to pull the head long, away from the shoulders and vice versa. One more, up in the air, point and bend, skate it all the way down like it's sliding on ice. And here we go, rond de jambe. The leg goes forward, up, back, around, and through center. Keep reaching out with the center of the sole of the foot, not just with the toes. You don't want to cramp your foot while you're doing this. The bottom leg sinks into the floor here. Let's go for one more circle. Spiral the leg on the hip joint surface. Come back to center and reverse. Use your glute to pull the leg back. Don't let the body go forward, forward, up and around with the leg. Back to neutral as it passes the other foot. Reach back, spiral externally, rotate to lift it. It moves through more of an internal rotation to come back to neutral at the bottom of the circle, and one more here. And then we're all the way down at the end. We're coming up to sitting. And here, let's use your bare bands to practice some of the Tifa prep. So we'll start with the bands around the feet. Grab hold of the band, and we're going to curl the tail forward to roll back towards your sacrum. Find your balance point on the sacrum with the legs in the air. Elbows can go wide and a little forward. Be sure the back is rounded, and then you're going to just push the legs forward into the band, keeping the back rounded and holding the back where it is, not leaning back, and then pull the legs in towards your chest. So we press the legs forward, hold the spine where it is. Exhale and back. And maybe it's just going a few inches forward and a few inches back. It's equally important to get the stability through the upper body as much as it is eventually important to get the legs to stretch all the way. All right, and now holding the feet in the air, we curl the tail up and we roll the low back down. Try to hold the feet steady like they're against a wall. Come down maybe to the base of the rib cage and then pull your chest up. Use the arms, hold the feet where they are, come up towards your legs. And then we're going back, lift the tail, roll the spine back, and then pull up here. And one more time, pulling back slowly. Keep lifting the tail to imprint down across the sacrum, to the hips, to the low back. and then we lift and pull up. Okay, and then lower the heels, open the knees, step forward between your legs. All the way up. And we're moving into seal at this point. So we're going to move on to the next thing on their schedules. So here, the arms go between the legs, wrap your hands around and under your ankles. And then we pull the feet in, we lift the feet up and knees are apart. So you're pressing legs into arms, arms into legs. We open and close from the hips to put the legs apart and together. Clap one, clap two, clap three. This is the tricky bit. You're going to roll back, the butt's in the air, and you clap 1 to 3 times. Head stays off the ground. So look at your belly, curl the tail up, balancing the shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3. Come up, and then 1, 2, 3. Or just tap once. So when you go back, think of lifting the tail up. So you have a moment of suspension while you clap. It's the edges of the feet clapping, not the soles of the feet. The knees are a little narrower than that. So open, close. Roll the scapula, the shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3. Forward to lift and clap again. And last one. Took me a long time to figure this out, and I still don't have it totally figured out. But that's how it works, right? Or how it doesn't work. In any case, that's our class for today. So thank you guys for being here with me. Sorry for the slight delay. I got detoured with the roads on the way here, and took a little longer to get here than it normally does. But appreciate your being here. I hope you had a great class. If you have questions, stay and ask.